Hello everybody, how are you today? Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff, and here with another fantastic fun DIY with Essential Stencil. So let me know where you're watching from, all over the USA. I'm in Australia, as you can probably tell by my funny accent, and let me know if you can hear, let me know how you're doing. It is, if you're watching the replay, there is a chance for you to win a prize if you type in the word replay. But I was going to say, if you are watching the replay, it is actually Thanksgiving Eve in the USA, so it's the night before Thanksgiving. I don't see comments just yet, but sometimes they take a little minute to scroll through, so I'll be watching for those. My laptop's down here. Hi Dawn, you're the first commenter. Hi Carol, there you are. Sandy. Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching today. So what are you guys all doing right now? It's the eve before Thanksgiving, I believe, over there. Right now it's Thursday here in Australia, so it is Thanksgiving, but we don't have Thanksgiving here in Australia, so everyone's kind of working, doing their thing. But because my husband is from the USA, we're having his dad over for dinner tonight, and so I think I should make, what should I make? Pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie and pecan pie are two of my favorites. It's all about dessert, people, right? Might have to cook up some sweet potato something. So, yay, thank you everyone for commenting, yes. Okay, so let me know your favorite Thanksgiving dish. And are you preparing something right now for Thanksgiving tomorrow? Today we're working on some fun stencils, and I've been so looking forward to using these. And it's the Christmas Patterns stencil set. If you had a sneak peek at the description in the top of this live, you know all the links are there, right? So, and guys, don't forget Black Friday sale, 30% off. So use my links. I would love you to use my links that are in the comments right there. Use any of your ambassadors' links. Guys, that's the way to go. Yes, to pumpkin pie favorites. Yeah, go guys. So this is the Christmas pattern set, and we've got a few different patterns that I'll show you right now. So if you use the links there, you get the early access code, and it takes you to the early access for the Black Friday sale, 30% off everything. Guys, that's amazing. So just click on my links there. Essential Stencil will post it, pin it to the top of the comments, but also it's in the description of the live. And here is the first one that I'm going to show you, the Snowflakes. So we're making wrapping paper today. How's that, guys, for Christmas? Still getting lots of comments for pumpkin pie. I do also love a good pecan pie, so that's another one of my favorite. There's the deer head stencil. Isn't that cute? Now, I'd love some other ideas of what else you could use these for, apart from wrapping paper too, because, you know, there's just so many other ideas you can use all of Essential Stencils for. I actually get a lot of inspiration from people in the Stencil of the Month Club. So if you haven't joined that, that's a lot of fun. You've got your own little Facebook group in there, and people are always posting amazing, fun ideas to do with their stencils. You know, mixing and matching and combining all the different stencils. So I'll be showing you how to make wrapping paper, how to kind of line it up, because I'll just switch you down for a minute. If you can see that shot there, I've got craft paper, and we'll be doing some on white paper, some on brown paper, like this. So I've got the Christmas tree pattern here, but what I want to show you is how to line them up. So see, my paper is actually longer than the stencil, so how to kind of line up those properly. Oh, someone said blueberry pie with chocolate ice cream. Yes, please. Yes. So we were just talking, I was just asking people, what are you preparing and what's your favorite Thanksgiving food? So I'll be showing you how to line those up. I'll be using a few different methods of stenciling today. I'll be using a roller. I don't know if I've used a roller on a live before, but I thought it might work well for the Christmas patterns. So we'll do that. I also want to use some of these makeup wedge spongy thingies to see if that's a great idea. And of course, our regular Essential stencil brushes that I've been using. Those are all in the link as well. And I've got a link there, an affiliate link for the microfiber rollers, which I prefer the microfiber ones. So if you're going to get some, there's a little Amazon link there in the supply list up in the description of the live. All right, and I will be making some gift tags. Now, you know that, I don't know if I added these in the thing, but if you click on my link up there in the description, click on just the Black Friday sale link and then find all of these things and you'll get your 30% off using my code. So that would be amazing if you did that. Click on the Black Friday link. All right, so these are the wooden tags and they look a bit different because I stained these this morning. So we're using some of the Christmas tags from the Christmas tag set. Just do a search for Christmas tag when you go to that Black Friday sale link, the 30% off link up in the description. I've stained these just using some chalk paint, and it's actually a black chalk paint, but see how it has a bit of a chalky finish to it? When I stencil it and then I seal it, that will bring out a nice deep, rich kind of black tone stain. So it kind of looks greyish right now, but that's because it's a chalk paint and it creates a bit of a chalky finish. But when we seal it, it's going to look great. So I'll be working on that. So let's get started. Hi, everybody. Here's our paper that we're working on, just some craft paper. I'm using the Christmas tree stencil. If you can't see it, I'll just flick a little bit of black under there so you can have a look. See that? Oh, Jennifer's making a turkey with stuffing and potatoes and biscuits. Oh, guys, that just sounds delicious. It's making me hungry. It's getting close to lunchtime here. All right, so I want to put my Christmas trees up near the top of the wrapping paper. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit away from the edge. It doesn't have to be right up to the edge, or you could kind of cross over the edge, because you think about it, if you're using this for wrapping paper, people are just honestly going to be ripping open the paper and not stressed about whether you've gone to the edges or you've gone over the edges. So I'm just using a chalk paint. It's an Australian brand of chalk paint. Sorry, I got that around the wrong way. The colour is courgette. It's a green. Thought it'd be lovely for the Christmas trees. And I'm going to be using my roller. I'll just put my other stencils aside. Now, it's a microfiber roller. I've got a link for example in my Amazon shop, so you can click on that. But just a microfiber roller, what I've done is I've dampened this because I'm using chalk paint and it's a little bit thicker. I've just given it a bit of a run under the water and dampened it, but squeezed it right out as much as I can so that it's not too wet. So it's kind of fluffy. If you're using a microfiber roller for the very first time too, you want to just flick your thumb through it, kind of like you do with your stencil brushes, to clear it of any loose bristles that might be a little bit loose there. So you want to do that with your microfiber roller too. I've already used this one a few times, so it's just for the first use of it. You want to be making sure that you do that. Okay, so I'm going to give it a bit of a soaking with my green paint. It does soak up a lot of paint. Look at that. And it is quite damp, so it's kind of a little bit of a watery. And it looks like I've got a little bit too much water there. Just make sure that you've always shake up your chalk paints too, because a lot of them are natural kind of paints and they have a little bit of separation happening. So we're just going to use this for the Christmas tree stencils. If you've just joined us, don't forget we Essential Stencil giveaway prizes at the end of the live. So hang around, have a little chat with us. Let us know, what are your Thanksgiving plans? Are you able to hang with the family? I know there's some restrictions going on. It's going to be a little bit of a different Thanksgiving this year, but who is just truly thankful for something? I'm sure there's lots of people thankful. I'm so thankful for my family. All right, so I've just offloaded a bit, even though I've offloaded it here. Look at that kind of squeezing down. I think my roller is a little bit too damp. Guys, just always learn from Sharon as she makes her mistakes. Now you could put a bit of tape here. Maybe we'll do that, shall we? But it is paper, so I don't want it to be too... I'm going to just try and make it lose some of its sticky there, so I don't want it to rip the paper, you know, but I just do want it to keep very still. Oh, Diana's got some craft paper coming to do this stencil. Yeah, don't forget, guys, 30% off using my link right there for early access for the Black Friday sales. Okay, there's our little bit of, let's see how the microfiber roller works. Now this paper keeps curling up, so let's just have a go at this. Hoping that I don't get much bleed through, guys, but we're just giving it a go to see what method kind of works well. I thought that the roller just might be a little bit quicker than doing my stencil brush. So we'll see. You kind of have to push it a little bit, but not too hard because you don't want that bleeding under. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how to move the stencil down and line up your pattern. Oh dear. I hope I'm not just making a whole bunch of blobby trees here. It is a little bit watery. And maybe I shouldn't have dampened my brush so much or squeezed it out more or something. Okay. We'll have some funny shaped trees by the looks of it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. All right. Oh, guys. Yeah, well, that was a disaster. It was not very... my paint was a little bit watery. So if it's too runny, it's going to be not very helpful to our trees. So it has bled under, and we've got a nice little mess here of blobs. So I'm going to wipe that off with my wet cloth. And let's use a stencil brush. So that's why we always practice on paper or cardboard before we actually do the real thing. But let me show you a little bit of lining up here. And these trees are a bit tricky to wipe off because they're kind of spiky and they stick to your cloth. It's probably easier to just go ahead and rinse this underwater, but I don't have that sink right here. Again, wiping your table and your back of your stencil. See, it just keeps sticking to the little spiky bits. All right. Going downwards, there we go. The spikes seem to be only catching when they go upwards. Just a bit of a rough clean at the moment. Okay. Now, if I'm lining something up, I've got my trees up the top here, and but they line up higher than this row here. So we can see it kind of goes up there and down here. What we don't want to do is line up this exactly underneath here because we'll then have a gap right here. Do you see that? So if I do line up the trees sort of in the same area, we're going to get this gap right here. So we don't want the gap. But we do want to, this is what we do want to do, you want to line up your stencil with adding those trees on top of, so we're not going to re-stencil them, but we want to line up those trees exactly where that bottom row finishes. So we line up our top row over the top of our bottom row. Does that make sense? And now we'll have a little bit of trees coming off the edge, but that's okay. It's wrapping paper. Who knows that wrapping paper and fabric and those kind of patterned pieces, they do actually just keep running off the paper and it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to use a stencil brush this time, and let's see if we can get a better kind of a look. Because we have to offload the brush as much as we can. Just using the Essential Stencil 7/8 inch brush, holding it down. So remember, I've put my top trees on top of the bottom trees from this pattern. I don't want to repeat and go over the top of them, but I am going to start with this row here. So we'll see if my stencil brush is a little better than the roller. I may have to perfect that rolling technique a little more, guys. Oh my goodness. So remember, Essential Stencil saying the sale ends tomorrow, 30% off Black Friday. So don't forget to take advantage of that. There's a lot of stencils you could be getting for your sign making and your gift making throughout the year. And there's still some time left for some fun Christmas stencils. So it does take a little bit longer than the roller. Oh, hang on. There we go. It's taking a little bit longer than the roller. You also got to remember too that this is craft paper, and it sort of sometimes tends to lend to soaking in a little bit, and that causes some of that bleed often. So we'll see how it goes with the stencil brush. That's right, Tricia, thank you. Nothing wrong with making some mistakes. I love to show you guys my mistakes. Then you can learn from me. Do what I say, not what I do. But these, I must say, I can tell already they're looking a lot better than my attempt at rollering. There's also foam rollers as well, so you could try with both. You could try with either or. And remember, I'm kind of going off the edge of my paper here, so just make sure you've got newspaper or towel or something on your tabletop. This is just my workbench, my craft table, where I do all my DIY furniture painting and all sorts of things, so I'm not too concerned about it getting on the table. One day, this table will also be a piece that I'll sand back and make beautiful, probably stain the top and paint the legs and base black or white or another pretty colour. Okay, we're almost finished our Christmas trees. You could sit and do this while your kids could help you, teach them how to stencil on the holidays, make some wrapping paper for the family. Of course, you could buy wrapping paper, yes, but what is the fun in that? It's a gorgeous pattern. Okay, I didn't have a look, but I did ask before. Tricia says you don't want to see my roller attempt. Yeah, it is really hard to offload the rollers. Okay, so I was asking before, what other things could you use these for apart from wrapping paper and that kind of stuff? You could use them for backgrounds and signs. So let's have a look. So see, much better Christmas trees. They're not little blobs. They're looking a lot better. So can you see how the pattern though, we don't have a gap here now because I placed my top trees on top of the bottom trees in the first pattern to continue the pattern. So the same would happen if you were going on the side here. I would line that up with wherever those stencils are, and you can kind of line up that first row of trees. Let's see, would it work with this one? You would have to go, so see our next tree would be here, so we would have to make it there. So in this case, you don't have to put it over the first, you would have to do the first 2 rows of trees, but if you really wanted to line it up, but to get more done in a quicker amount of time, simply just watch your pattern and keep an eye on where those trees would be. So that's how you would continue the pattern this way, and then again, do it that way. So you can see the pattern goes up, down, up, down, up, down. So if I was to put that on this tree like I did for down here, it would be different. It wouldn't be in the right place. So just watch your patterns really carefully to be able to repeat them. Okay, so that worked out a lot better with the stencil brush down here. That's on that kind of craft paper. That's a little attempt at doing Christmas trees, and I will deal with that later and rinse it off. So now we've got some brown craft paper. This is a little bit narrower, so we'd use this one for smaller gifts, but let's get our next. I wanted to do, let's do some Snowflakes white. I think that's a lovely, so this one fits perfectly. Now this isn't necessarily, they're almost all different. I think there's probably 2 snowflake patterns that are the same. These are even different, you know, so it's kind of like a bit of a puzzle to see which ones. These 2 look the same, but I think this one could be smaller than that one. So I really think that they have done exactly what God does and made every snowflake different. Did you know that? That's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to look for another brush, dip my green in there, and I'm going to be using a white paint this time. Just dump a little bit in here. Once again, just a tiny little bit of tape. I'll be using some gift tags in a second. We can have gift tags, we can have wrapping paper. I'm just going to pop it there just to keep it a little bit stable. So this one, I'm just centering that to the craft paper. I don't mind that there's a gap here and there's a gap here. It really doesn't matter. I won't be repeating that pattern this way. I'll just be kind of doing it along. Let's dump some of this in here. So the code for the 30% off, Darlene, if you just go to the link that's right there, pinned in the comments, just click that link and it will take you straight there. You don't need the code, it will put it in already for you, the early access. And that's using my affiliate link, so that would be amazing if you could use that. Okay, so I've dumped a little bit of white in here. We could use a stencil brush, but let's try a makeup sponge. Let's just try something different. See if we can get this pattern going with a makeup sponge, all right? Now, every snowflake is different. It does look like a fun stencil, someone said. Offloading, just on some, I'm just using the junk mail, we call it. How's the weather over there looking for Thanksgiving? I guess it's different all over, but what about in your neck of the woods? It's getting so warm here in Australia, heading into summer. Someone said, who's that? Donna said they did a good job with the snowflakes. They sure did. So that's the makeup sponge, that one. So that works nicely, doesn't it? Gives a nice and crisp line. But again, with all of these, so with the brush, with the roller, no matter what you're using, offloading as much as you can first is the key to getting nice crisp stencils that don't bleed underneath the stencil. So if you haven't done stenciling before, make sure you practice on some paper just like this, or some cardboard. You know, tear apart a little old box and just create it there before you make your special signs or before you stencil on furniture or whatever you're going to be using it for. It's a great practice idea. Okay, so that's using the makeup sponge, those two. And now I'm going to just have a go at using a stencil brush. I'll just use this one. Wiping that off and offloading even the brush and working it into the bristles. I think that I will find that this is a little bit quicker than the makeup sponge. See how I can just swirl it around now because I've offloaded the paint as much as I can. And I think the white looks really nice and crisp on the brown paper. So I do love a good brown wrapping paper. It gives it that natural look, those natural tones, tied together with a little bit of jute string or something like that. Works really nicely. So if you missed earlier, I was doing the tree stencil and showing you how to line up those patterns with the stencil, because there's a little bit of a trick to it so that you get the patterns looking evenly going across and going down. So if you missed that, you can always catch the replay. Just don't look too much at my rollering skills because we tried using the roller. Okay. Oh yeah, great idea. Tricia said she wants to try using the snowflakes on a 5-foot board as a background. Yes, what do you all think about that? That's a great idea. Tricia, I think I like that idea. So I've done things like patterns for backgrounds before on signboards, and if you're using it as a background, I'm assuming that you are going to put a stencil on top of the pattern then. So just make sure that you're using some contrasting colours, like really contrasting, so that they don't, so your colours aren't too close together, they kind of blend in with each other, and then it looks a bit too busy. So just making sure, there's my tip for when you're doing patterns as backgrounds, just make sure if you're using it as a background and you're putting another large stencil, say a block letter, like a big bold letter right there, the letter A, let's say, for someone's name or whatever. You could do that for the wrapping paper to the person you're giving it to. That'd be a fun idea. Then you would make sure, so on this one, for example, I would do the snowflakes, and then I'd put maybe a bold letter A for Amber, my daughter, on the middle right there. And then, you know, when you've wrapped it all up, you could wrap the present first, then kind of find the center and pop your big letter in the middle. Any other ideas I like? I like the ideas. Let's see, Megan says, I have a lot of brown paper that comes in boxes for packaging. I've been thinking of stenciling on that and using as wrapping paper. Thoughts? Yeah, thoughts, people, on Megan's idea? And sometimes that paper is all scrunched, but hey, I think that could look actually really cool. Scrunched paper, just iron it out, flatten it out, and go ahead and stencil it. That would look really creative. And you're recycling and reusing at the same time. Brilliant idea. It really does look lovely with the white colours. So just use an acrylic paint. I'm just using a chalk paint here just because I use them for my furniture painting. You can follow me over on my blog at irestorestuff.com. Right here in Australia. Do all of that. You can find me on Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube. I've got lots of DIY tutorials on my YouTube channel. And Instagram, that's one of my favourite places to be right now, on Instagram, and showing you behind the scenes in my stories, things like that. Okay, there's our snowflakes done. And look how cute that looks as wrapping paper. And I'll just show you one more going across here before we start on our gift tags. So there's our green. Let's just get rid of the green. Sliding it across. Pop a bottle on the end there to keep it stable. Just trying to catch up with your comments, guys. They're rolling and scrolling. Yeah, that's true. That's what I was saying, Tricia. I'm always wanting to make sure it stays focused on the stencil itself, not the background. So that's why we do, you know, make sure that they're contrasting colours. So I would do, say, a black, big, bold letter there, or a big red something. You could do even a great big green tree, something like that. Okay, so for this one, you could do all sorts of things. Because every snowflake is completely different. Oh, I need that. You could switch it around, go like this, or switch it around and just kind of give it an upside down feel. All right, so no one's going to tell that it's upside down. So all you want to look for now is you want to see through the stencil where this stencil finishes, this one here, to make sure that that gap is fairly, you know, reasonably at a similar distance all the way over, making sure your stencil's straight. And there we go. Once again, offload your brush and stencil away. I'm doing this super quickly. And you can see that some areas, you know, when you're doing something that is natural, rustic, that kind of homemade feel, or even looking vintage and old, it doesn't matter if you miss some areas and you just, you know, it's a bit more solid in some areas than others and a bit more translucent in some areas too. So I kind of like that look. So see how this one's a little bit faded here on certain edges. It actually looks really nice. I think so anyway. Okay, I've seen another idea. Dawn says use it on pillows or tea towels. Yes, I love that idea, Dawn. Great idea. Keep the ideas coming. How else you could use some of these? Snowflake, Joyce says, snowflake and a snowman, fun on a board. Your grandchildren would love to paint and stencil a board. Yes, great idea. Tanya's asking, where do I order? Tanya, right there in the top description of the live, you'll see my link to take you to the 30% off Black Friday sale. Click on that link and you will, you'll find all of these stencils in there. And you'll get 30% off. It's also pinned to the top of the comments right there too. Okay, so this has been a fairly quick process to get that done. 2 little stencils on there. Now the other stencil that I wanted to show you too is the mini snowflakes. I haven't got this link on there, but just definitely use that Black Friday early access link and that'll take you and pop the code. It will automatically pop the code in there for you. The other one is the mini snowflakes. Let me show you that, which are also a fun idea that you could, you know, mix and match these snowflakes. There's about, is it a 3-pack? Yeah, there's 3 different snowflake designs here. You could put a big bold snowflake in the middle. You could make a gift tag with the snowflake, the bigger kind of snowflakes on that. So there's another idea for you. So you can find that also on that link. And you would just look up snowflakes, and it'll bring you all the snowflake stencils there. Some great winter ideas. You know, have you got a friend with a birthday in winter? Could even just be a winter wrapping paper, right? Someone who loves snow. I would love some snow right now. I tell you, it's kind of sweltering here in Australia. So, okay, there we go. So see how we've got some faded ones. Some are just a little bit bolder than others, but that gives you a lovely idea of how that wrapping paper can look just using the Snowflake stencil. Now the other stencil in the set, now I've showed you 2 so far, so the trees and the snowflakes, and then there's the mini deer heads. Are they cute or what? So there's one that we could do on our wooden swinging tags. So let's have a look at those now. I should shift my wrapping paper so we don't spoil it now that I've got a good one. My trees, well, let's just say, okay, let's just cut that so we can have a little look at how nice that looks. We could keep going. We'll just find some nice little small present to wrap that in. Pop that over here for you guys to look at. All right, so here's our gift tags, and I've got some mini tag sets to show you, so don't forget to look for these on that link to the Black Friday Early Access sale. These are the Deer mini tag set, and you've got, in that set, we've got, oh, I've got them all back to front. Believe, mini tag. We've got Merry and Bright, which gives you some gorgeous little grain sack things here that I've also used those little grain sack patterns just on a tag by itself, you know, and just put some other stencil down on here. And then there's the deer head, which looks cute as well. So that deer head would match great with some wrapping paper done in this, and then you pop a little gift tag. Now don't forget, you can also use these to trace on just ordinary black craft paper. Oh look, there's still some fall mini tags as well. You can grab a hold of those in that Black Friday sale link. So all I've done is used the wooden tags to trace around and add the little hole in there also, punch a hole in there, just using this A5 cardstock. And so you can get about 2 on there just to create your own gift tags. That's actually from the set. So let's have a look at that. What I'd like to do is have some fun. Oh, there's the other set. Let's just go through these as well. This is the Tree Farm mini tag set. These were from last year, so if you didn't grab these are really great. So Tree Farm, oops, I'm holding it upside down for you, sorry. Really cute. Also, there is the Merry Christmas with the little red truck and the Christmas tree, and there's the Farm Fresh Christmas trees. Now, let me show you just quickly something else I made last year, just using some ordinary wooden blocks that I painted. So they're just pieces of wood that I painted, and flipping them over just to show you, I created this little mini house set, okay, using some of these mini tags. So that video is actually in Essential Stencil's Facebook page on the video section. You go back and look to last Christmas and you'll see that I created these little fun, you know, you put your little truck on here, draw your own little window on there. You can pop your little trees over here. So just using that mini tag set, I created these last year. Just wanted to show you that as an extra bonus tip. Go find the video from last year on that one. Okay, so I'm going to still use my white stencil brush that I had. Now, if you missed before, I said I've stained these. These usually come with, they're just raw pine, but I stained these with some black chalk paint just by watering down the chalk paint to create a stain. So I'm going to use the deer head, and I'm just going to make a pattern in the background, so it doesn't matter if some of the deer are going to go over the hole or off the edge, all of that, so we won't worry too much. But what I will do is kind of move this one to the top, and actually I'll put it across this way. Let's do that, so that they kind of, oh, it is a bit tricky, isn't it? All right, so it's going to look like a pattern. We're just playing, we're just experimenting, guys. Watch and learn from my mistakes. That seems to be my thing. Okay, so you're going to see half deer heads, you're going to see the full ones down here, but the full effect will come into play when we take and reveal. Okay, holding really still because I can't actually use the painter's tape on this one. And if you wanted to, you could just add a few yourself, random little deer heads on here. You don't have to use the actual spacing of the stencil set itself. You could just move the stencil around and place about 5 little random deers around and make your own pattern. So we were talking before about creating patterns for a background. Well, here's a pattern for a background right here. This one just needs a touch more. Kind of looks like snow-covered deers, don't they? Okay, Pat's asking, if you use acrylic paint on fabric, how do you set it? You can set it just in the dryer or with a hot iron on the reverse side of the fabric. Dry iron though, make sure it's a dry iron that doesn't have steam on it. Okay, there we go. That's kind of cute, don't you think? I like that. And then on the reverse side, what I'm going to do is add our large deer right there. Super quick and easy, looks like a snow-covered deer. And that's a quick and easy one to do. So I'm just doing it quite rough. You can sort of see if you need to cover any extra, you can go over it. But like I said before, I kind of like that rustic look. And even if it's too full, sometimes I'll actually sand it back to give it a bit of a rustic feel or antique feel. Let me just see if I can lift that a little bit closer for you. So we've got that, and then we've got the reverse side, we've got this. So these would look really cute, just hanging, you know, in a set of 3 with the other Christmas tags, or use them for actual gifts and stick a bit of string through there. We do have the ties that come with the set of 3. So you can grab these wooden tag sets in your Black Friday sale, clicking that 30% off Black Friday sale link that they've got pinned to the top of the comments there. You can see that. The sale ends tomorrow, so do not miss out on all of the stencils that you think you might need. Grab them now. Okay, so let's have a look at just some of these card tags that I've also made. We could use the pattern sets for these. What have we got here? Believe. It's got a little bit of holly, merry and bright. Where's my other patterns? My snowflakes, there we go. So you can pop some snowflakes, again, like this, on a pattern. And like I said before, it doesn't matter if they kind of are half on there and half off. Just a little dip in there, just watching where my black cardstock is. It even got a tiny little bit of a snowflake off that end. Now, if you're writing on these as gift tags, you just probably need some kind of either metallic pen or one of those white chalkboard pens, you know, that a paint pen, I suppose is what I'm saying. Those white paint pens. Okay, this one's a little bit rough and rustic as well. Just to give you an idea of the fun kind of patterns you can make just using those snowflake stencils. The other one that I wanted to try, and again, this is just a black cardstock that I've just used a template of our wooden tags to create some more. Now, where's that big snowflake stencil pack? This is just called Snowflakes. It's a 6x6" stencils, and you can get that at the same link, that 30% off that's pinned to the top there. It's also in the link description to get 30% off all of your stencils. Whoop, there we go. So you could use any of these 3 snowflakes. And what I'd like to do is just show you how you can use this. You could either just use the corner of the snowflake and create a bit of a place where you can write your name there, or you could use a half a snowflake right there like that. So for this one, let's use the half a snowflake. You could put the whole thing on there and make it central, but I just thought it'd be a fun idea to use a half or a quarter of a snowflake. So we're just going to have to hold it still again. Could pop a little bit of tape on, I suppose, on this side, right? Because we've got some room there. Yep. And once again, just a really good smush around with the brush. I know that I'm getting it on my table. It's okay, guys. It's an old workbench table, and I'll just sand it off one day anyway for all the paint stains, so don't panic. And I'm using just a chalk paint, but you can use any acrylic paint. Just making sure that you rub off or offload your brush as much as you can so it doesn't get all underneath. All right, nice and rough and rustic. We've got a half a snowflake right there on our tag. So that's just an ordinary cardstock. You could then add names or who it's to on the other side. And there's that one there. And the other idea, that's the pattern, and this is the mini snowflakes right here. So the other idea that I was saying just then is that we can use a quarter of a snowflake. So just popping the center right on that bottom corner there, or the other corner, whichever corner you choose. And I'm going to pop it right on the corner. Add my little tape there. This one will actually give us more space for writing to and from for an actual gift tag. But yeah, it's just another way that you can use the snowflake patterns, and this is the mini snowflake set. So there you go. It's just a little snowflake on the corner. How's that? Let's see if there's another tag, a mini tag set. Where have we got? Farm Fresh Christmas Trees. You could pop this on the back. We've got some great stencils here to be able to do gift giving with, you know, with all those patterns. Oops, I've got to be careful because my little tree is starting to curl up on me there. And I think I got a little bit of white in that hole. Never mind. So let's see what other ideas have we got here in the comments, guys. Yes, we can't go to snow, but we can make it snow with snowflakes just for fun. This is true. We have 0 snow in where I live in Australia, in Queensland. It's sunny all the time. There we go, Farm Fresh Christmas trees. And again, we've got our quarter of a snowflake just sitting there on the edge to show you that. Okay, I wanted to show you just really quickly to finish off that we've got this deer head here, but it's on a stained with chalk paint. So what I'm going to do is show you how I will finish that, I'm just putting the paper underneath, just using some sealer. So once you wax it or seal it, that'll seal the chalk paint on your tag, but it'll also seal the stain, and the stain will come up beautifully as a lovely wood finish, kind of like a varnished look. Feeling like I've got a bit of mess here on my table. I will sort it all out in just a second, guys. So here's the deers we did just a little minute ago with the mini tag set on the back. So we've got the tag pattern and then the set. And a little brush I need. There's a mini brush. This one will do fine. So I'm just adding a little bit of, this is just an acrylic sealer. So any kind of sealer will do, but I just wanted to show you how nicely that chalk paint comes up once it's all varnished and sealed. It's almost like a driftwood look, isn't it? And that will dry nice and clear. Kind of just deepens and gives you that wood grain look in there. Ta-da! So there you go, guys. We've got our deer on the other side. I won't do that until that side's dried. Just wanted to show you that. So let's go over a little bit of what we've done today. We've used the mini snowflakes. We've used the Christmas pattern stencils. But do click on that link to the 30% off Black Friday sale. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be announcing prize winners any second. Let me pop you up here so we can see. Oh, it's hot here. Okay, so we've got our wrapping paper. Where's my failed Christmas tree paper? I'm sure that you will do a lot better than me with the Christmas tree paper. Here's a lovely example of what not to do. Get blotchy. I did that with a roller, the top one. Then I used a brush, a stencil brush on these ones down here. So in my opinion, I probably did it wrong, the roller. So stencil brush wins over the roller. But give it a go, practice. You might perfect that. So that was the Christmas tree pattern. Here is the snowflake pattern. So can't wait to wrap some prezzies in this one. That looks great. I love the white on the brown paper. And we are going to see some winners in a second, but just wait. We've got our deer head pattern. So that comes in the Christmas pattern set. So when you go to that 30% off Black Friday sale link that Essential Stencil has right there, and I've got it in the description, you'll find these. And then there's the mini tag set. Any of the Christmas mini tags, just search Christmas mini tags on Essential Stencil's page and you'll find those. And then there's the other mini tags that we did with just using a tracing some of the wooden tags that you get with Essential Stencil. So these are there in the shop. We've got our mini tag, Farm Fresh Christmas trees, a little quarter of a snowflake just sitting there on the edge. We've got a half a snowflake here, and then the snowflake pattern. So if you just look up in the search bar on Essential Stencil's site, snowflakes, you'll find all of the snowflake patterns there. You'll find all of the things that you need, and I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, guys. Here we've got some winners. Congratulations to these people, Teresa and Charlotte and Mary Jo Bell. So thank you, Teresa, Charlotte and Mary Jo. Please email support@essentialstencil.com. They've tagged you right there if you're a winner. And thank you so much. Be sure to follow me over at I Restore Stuff on my page. The links are right there in the description and in the comment there where the winners are. Thank you, Essential Stencil, so much. I just want to say a huge blessing to all the Essential Stencil team and their families, and thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you, and I'm so thankful on this wonderful Thanksgiving, always, but especially now. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and I will see you next week with another Essential Stencil Live. Bye.